Growing up, I was terrified of bullies, sadistic headmasters, and sharp-tongued math teachers. I was also scared of stray dogs. Most people, and some dogs, tended to be bigger than an 8-year-old. So I learned to respect size. Big is good. In 8th grade, after being beaten during recess by a short 14-year-old who was all muscle, I realized the idea of strength. You didn't have to be big. Strong is better. The next year, I discovered power. It was what I had when the now 15-year-old bully was desperate for my help with his essay writing. Big and strong were good, but power kicked ass. In college, I understood the value of knowledge. The more I knew, the more I could influence or even control things, like during an argument, or a debate, or in completing a difficult assignment. This was all very useful stuff. It helped me make sense of how my own personal and very confusing world worked. It also got me interested in politics, which is, after all, how the larger world works. Growing up in democratic India, I vaguely sensed that democracy and freedom were good, though it was only when the family tried to force me to pick medicine or engineering that I truly appreciated the idea of freedom. If I couldn't choose my own career, what use was the constitutional freedom promised to me? Then, in 1975, Mrs. Gandhi suspended Parliament and imposed a state of emergency. At first, most of my friends didn't think too much about it, except that it was probably not a good thing. In any case, we were struggling to adapt to life in college and make a favorable impression on the girls. The middle classes, though, seemed to approve of Mrs. Gandhi's actions. They were fed up with the noisy and messy politics of India and were impatient with democracy itself. With the emergency, the trains and buses ran on time, corruption decreased, and lazy officials were publicly humiliated and fired. Most importantly, squabbling politicians shut up. Slowly, though, word came of opposition politicians who were arrested in the wee hours, of student and trade union leaders who were hunted, even killed by the police, of newspapers that were banned, and academics and intellectuals fired from their jobs. We heard about Mrs. G's younger son and his friends behaving like bullies and well-connected thugs terrorizing ordinary citizens. At age 17, it finally started making sense to me. I understood what suspension of habeas corpus meant. Without democracy and rule of law, the strong and the powerful now had complete immunity. If you were weak, meek, or unconnected, you were someone's lunch. A society without predictable rules and accountability was like being left alone with a sadistic 14-year-old in the school playground. So here is my question for you.